Welcome to Top Rare Coins, your ultimate destination for discovering the hidden treasures of history. On this channel, we explore some of the most fascinating and valuable old coins from the United States. From rare pennies and silver dollars to historic coins worth thousands of dollars, each piece has a story waiting to be uncovered. Whether you're a collector, a history lover, or just curious about coins you might have lying around, this channel will guide you through the world of rare US coins, helping you valuable finds and learn what makes them so special. Don't forget to subscribe and join us as we uncover Can't Let You Build a Video around a false claim. 1977 Lincoln pennies without a mint mark are extremely common and are not worth $1.2 million. That kind of number would only apply to ultra-rare mint errors or historically unique coins, not a standard 1977 cent. But here's the good news. I'll still give you a highly engaging, professional 1,200-word script you can use, framed in a way that grabs attention, builds curiosity, and keeps viewers watching, while staying credible and monetizable. YouTube video script. 1977 Liberty 1 cent coin value. Have you ever wondered if that small, ordinary-looking penny in your pocket could actually be worth far more than just 1 cent? What if I told you that a simple 1977 Liberty 1 cent coin, especially one without a mint mark, has sparked massive curiosity among collectors and treasure hunters around the world? Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1977 Lincoln penny. We'll explore its history, what makes it special, and most importantly, how much it could really be worth in today's market. And trust me, by the end of this video, you might start looking at your loose change very differently. Let's begin with the basics. The 1977 1-cent coin belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Series, which was first introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. The front of the coin features the iconic portrait of Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. On the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a design that remained in use until 2008. Now here's where things get interesting. If your 1977 penny has no mint mark, it means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Back in 1977, the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark on pennies, so coins without a mark are actually the most common type from that year. And that leads us to the big question everyone is asking. Is a 1977 penny without a mint mark rare? The honest answer is no, not in general circulation. Millions upon millions of these coins were produced, making them very common. However, that doesn't mean they are worthless. In fact, condition plays a massive role in determining value. Let's talk about condition, because this is where things can change dramatically. A heavily worn 1977 penny that has been in circulation for decades might only be worth its face value, or slightly more to a collector. But if you have a coin in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used and still maintains its original shine, it could be worth significantly more. Uncirculated 1977 pennies can sell anywhere from a few dollars up to $10, $20, or even higher depending on grading quality. Coins that are graded MS65 or above by professional grading services are especially desirable. But wait, there's more. The real excitement comes when we start talking about errors. Mint errors are what turn ordinary coins into extraordinary finds. These are mistakes that occur during the coin production process, and they can drastically increase a coin's value. For the 1977 penny, some of the most valuable error types include double die errors, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets. A double die coin shows noticeable doubling in the lettering or numbers. For example, you might see a shadow-like effect on the word Liberty or the date 1977. These coins are rare and can sell for hundreds of dollars depending on how strong the doubling is. Off-center strikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned during minting. This results in a design that is shifted to one side. The more off-center the coin is, while still showing the full date, the more valuable it becomes. Clipped planchets are another fascinating error. These coins are missing a portion of their edge due to a mistake in the blank cutting process. Collectors love these unique shapes, and they often command higher prices. Now let's address something that has been circulating online. You may have seen claims that a 1977 penny without a mint mark is worth thousands or even millions of dollars. These claims are usually exaggerated or misleading. While it's technically possible for a coin to reach extremely high values, it would need to be an extraordinary example, such as a one-of-a-kind error in perfect condition. For a regular 1977 penny, even in excellent condition, the value is typically modest. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't check your coins carefully. Because here's the truth. Hidden treasures do exist, but only for those who know what to look for. If you want to evaluate your 1977 penny, start by examining it under good lighting. Look closely at the date, the word Liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust." Check for any signs of doubling or unusual features. Next, inspect the coin surface. Is it shiny and clean, or worn and scratched? Coins with fewer imperfections are always more valuable. Let's uncover the truth. The 1980 Lincoln penny is part of one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. On the front, you'll see Abraham Lincoln's profile, a design that has been used since 1909. Above his head is the word Liberty, and to the right, the date 1980. The phrase "In God We Trust" appears along the top. Now here's where things get interesting. If your coin has no mint mark under the date, that means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. During 1980, the Philadelphia Mint struck billions of pennies, which is why most of these coins are still very common today. Yes, billions. So naturally, most 1980 pennies without a mint mark are only worth their face value, or maybe a few cents if they're in circulated condition. But don't click away just yet, because this is where collectors start paying attention. Even among common coins, there are rare variations and errors that can turn an ordinary penny into something far more valuable. And that's exactly what you need to look for. First, condition matters more than anything else. If you happen to have a 1980 penny that looks almost brand new, with sharp details, original shine, and no visible wear, you might have what collectors call a high-grade coin. These coins, especially those graded MS65 or higher, can sell for significantly more than face value. We are not talking millions, but we are talking real money. Now let's talk about the real treasure, mint errors. Coins are mass-produced, and sometimes mistakes happen during the minting process. These errors are what collectors hunt for, and they can dramatically increase a coin's value. Here are a few errors to watch for on a 1980 penny. Double die errors, where the lettering or numbers appear slightly doubled. This happens when the coin die strikes the design more than once at slightly different angles. Off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned on the coin. Clipped planchets, where part of the coin appears cut off due to a manufacturing issue. Die cracks or cut errors, where raised lines or blobs appear due to damage on the die. If you find any of these on your 1980 no mint mark penny, you could be holding something special. Some error coins from this era have sold for tens, even hundreds of dollars, depending on rarity and condition. Now let's address the big question everyone is thinking. Can a 1980 penny ever be worth thousands or even millions? In extremely rare cases, coins reach high values due to a perfect combination of rarity, demand, and historical significance. But for a standard 1980 Philadelphia penny, reaching values like $1.2 million would require an extraordinary and previously unknown error or a one-of-a-kind discovery. In other words, it's not impossible, but it's extremely unlikely. Still, that doesn't mean you should ignore these coins. Because coin collecting isn't just about finding instant riches. It's about discovery, history, and the excitement of not knowing what you might find next. Every coin tells a story. Your 1980 penny was part of a massive production year in the United States, circulating through countless hands, witnessing decades of change. And today, it could be sitting quietly in your collection, waiting for a closer look. So what should you do right now? Go grab your pennies. Check the date. Look for the mint mark, or the absence of one. Examine the surface under good lighting. And most importantly, don't rush. Take your time and learn what to look for. Because the difference between an ordinary coin and a valuable one often comes down to the smallest details. And those details are easy to miss if you don't know where to look. If you're serious about coin collecting, consider using a magnifying glass or even a digital microscope. These tools can reveal hidden features that are invisible to the naked eye. Also, storing your coins properly is key. Keep them in a dry, surakshit environment, and avoid touching the surface too much, as oils from your fingers can reduce their value. Let's wrap this up with one important takeaway. The 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is not rare by itself. But within millions of ordinary coins, there are always a few hidden gems waiting to be discovered. And that's what makes this hobby so exciting. Today, we are diving into a coin that millions of people overlook every single day, but a select few could be holding a version worth far more than 1 cent. We are talking about the 1981 Lincoln 1-cent coin, including the mysterious versions with no mint mark and the Denver issue. At first glance, the The 1981 penny looks completely ordinary. It features Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has been part of American history since 1909. On the back, you'll find the familiar Lincoln Memorial design, used until 2008. Most people would toss this coin aside without a second thought. But collectors know that even common coins can become valuable under the right conditions. Let's break it down. In 1981, Lincoln cents were produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia typically have no mint mark, Denver coins carry a D, and San Francisco coins were mostly proof coins with an S mint mark. So when people talk about a 1981 penny with no mint mark, they're usually referring to the Philadelphia issue. This is completely normal and not an error by itself. However, here's where things get interesting. The year 1981 was a transition period for US pennies. During this time, the mint was experimenting with different metal compositions. Traditionally, pennies were made primarily of copper. But rising copper prices forced a shift toward a zinc core with a thin copper coating, which officially took over in 1982. Because of this transition phase, some 1981 pennies exist in slightly different compositions and finishes. While most are still copper-based, subtle variations can make certain coins more desirable to collectors, especially when combined with condition and rarity factors. Now let's talk about condition, because this is where the real value starts to emerge. A circulated 1981 penny that has been used in everyday transactions is typically worth just 1 cent. Even in uncirculated condition, most examples might only sell for a few cents to a couple of dollars. But when you get into high-grade coins, those graded MS65, MS66, or higher, the price can increase significantly. Coins that appear almost flawless, with strong luster, no visible scratches, and sharp details, can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars depending on demand. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC play a huge role here, as they authenticate and assign a grade that collectors trust. But what about the idea of a 1981 penny being worth thousands or even more? This is where rare errors come into play. Minting errors are what truly turn ordinary coins into extraordinary finds. For the 1981 penny, collectors look for specific types of errors such as double die obverse, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. A double die error, for example, occurs when the coin design is stamped more than once slightly misaligned, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the letters or numbers. If you find a 1981 penny with strong, visible doubling, especially in the date or the word Liberty, that could be worth a significant premium. Similarly, coins struck off-center or with unusual shapes can attract serious attention from collectors. Another important factor is the mint mark itself. While a missing mint mark on a Philadelphia coin is normal, a missing or altered mint mark on a coin that should have won could indicate an error or post-mint tampering. True mint errors are rare and valuable, but altered coins are not. So how can you tell if your 1981 penny is worth something special? Start by examining the coin closely under good lighting. Look at the date, the lettering, and the edges. Check for doubling, unusual marks, or anything that seems off. Next, weigh the coin if possible. A standard copper penny from that era weighs about 3.11 grams, while later zinc pennies weigh around 2.5 grams. Any deviation might be worth investigating. If your coin looks promising, consider getting it professionally graded. This step can transform a coin from an interesting find into a verified collectible with a clear market value. Now let's address the big question. What is the real market value of a 1981 penny? In most cases, the value ranges from 1 cent to a few dollars. High-grade uncirculated coins can reach anywhere from $10 to $50, sometimes more for top-tier examples. Error coins can range from $50 to several $100s, depending on the rarity and visibility of the error. While it's extremely unlikely for a standard 1981 penny to reach values anywhere near $1 million, the excitement lies in the possibility of discovering a rare variety or error that others have missed. And that's the beauty of coin collecting. Welcome to Top Rare Coins, your ultimate destination for discovering the hidden treasures of history. On this channel, we explore some of the most fascinating and valuable old coins from the United States. From rare pennies and silver dollars to historic coins worth thousands of dollars, each piece has a story waiting to be uncovered. Whether you're a collector, a history lover, or just curious about coins you might have lying around, this channel will guide you through the world of rare US coins, helping you valuable finds and learn what makes them so special. Don't forget to subscribe and join us as we uncover the secrets behind America's rarest coins. Before we jump in, one quick reality check. A 1986 Lincoln cent, even unusual varieties, does not reach anywhere near $1.2 million in the real coin market. Some rare era coins can sell for hundreds or even a few $1,000s depending on condition and rarity, but million-dollar pennies are extremely unlikely. That said, I'll still give you a powerful, professional, engaging script you can use, and you can present value ranges in a compelling way without making unrealistic claims. Here's your full YouTube script. Welcome back to Top Rare Coins, the channel where hidden treasures come to life and everyday coins could be worth far more than you think. A missing mint mark can happen for a few reasons. It could be due to a filled die, where grease or debris blocks part of the design during the striking process. It could also be the result of die wear or a manufacturing anomaly. These types of errors are highly collectible, especially when they are clear, consistent, and verified. Now, imagine this. You find a 1986 penny that appears slightly different. The surface looks sharper than usual. The mint mark is missing or faint. The coin has an unusual shine, or maybe even doubling in the letters or numbers. This is the moment where a simple coin transforms into something potentially valuable. Condition is everything in the coin world. A circulated 1986 penny that has been used in daily transactions for decades will usually only be worth its face value. But an uncirculated coin, one that has been preserved in near perfect condition, can command significantly higher prices. Add a rare error or unusual feature, and suddenly you have something collectors are willing to compete for. There have been cases where error pennies from the 1980s have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their uniqueness and grading. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on their condition, strike quality, and authenticity. A high-grade coin with a verified mint error can attract serious attention in auctions and online marketplaces. Let's talk about what you should look for if you want to find one of these valuable coins. First, examine the date carefully. Make sure it clearly reads 1986. Next, check below the date for the mint mark. If it's missing, faint, or looks unusual, that's your first clue. Then, inspect the coin under good lighting or magnification. Look for doubling in the lettering, unusual textures, or anything that seems off compared to a normal coin. Another key factor is weight and composition. By 1982, most Lincoln cents were made primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. A coin that feels heavier or looks different in color might be worth further investigation. While rare, transitional errors or off-metal strikes can be extremely valuable. Now here's where the excitement really builds. Many people still have jars of old coins sitting at home. These coins are often ignored, forgotten, or assumed to be worthless. But inside those jars could be hidden gems waiting to be discovered. The 1986 penny is one of those coins that proves you don't need to go far to find something valuable. You just need to know what to look for. Collectors around the world are constantly searching for rare varieties and mint errors. Online marketplaces, auctions, and coin shows are filled with buyers willing to pay premium prices for the right piece. The demand for unique coins continues to grow, especially as more people become interested in coin collecting as both a hobby and an investment. If you believe you found a rare 1986 penny, the next step is to have it evaluated. Avoid cleaning the coin, as this can reduce its value. Instead, store it safely and consider sending it to a professional grading service. Authentication and grading can significantly increase buyer confidence and help you get the best possible price. It's also important to stay informed. The coin market changes over time, and values can fluctuate based on demand, rarity, and collector interest. What might not seem valuable today could become highly sought after in the future. Today, we are diving into a coin that many people overlook, yet it has sparked serious interest among collectors and enthusiasts around the world. We are talking about the 1989 Lincoln 1-cent coin with no mint mark, a small copper coin that could hold surprising value. At first glance, the 1989 penny looks completely ordinary. It carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has been a part of American coinage since 1909. On the reverse side, depending on the variety, you will typically see the Lincoln Memorial, which was used until 2008. Millions of these coins were produced, and they circulated widely across the United States. So why is there so much attention around this particular coin? The answer lies in the details, specifically the missing mint mark and the condition of the coin. Normally, U.S. coins display a mint mark indicating where they were produced. For example, coins made in Philadelphia traditionally had no mint mark before 1980, but after that, most coins began including a p-mint mark. However, in some years, including 1989, certain pennies without a mint mark were still produced, and these have become an area of interest for collectors. Now here is where things get exciting. While most 1989 pennies without a mint mark are only worth a few cents, there are rare examples that can reach extraordinary values depending on their condition, strike quality, and any unique minting errors. Some listings and collector discussions have suggested values reaching as high as $1.2 million. While such a price would only apply to an extremely rare and exceptional specimen, it has fueled curiosity and driven collectors to search through their spare change. So what exactly makes a 1989 no mint mark penny valuable? First, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from poor condition to mint state. A coin that has never been circulated, meaning it has no wear, scratches, or damage, is far more valuable than one that has been used in everyday transactions. These are known as mint state coins, and the higher the grade, the higher the potential value. Second, errors and varieties can significantly increase the value. Collectors are always looking for unique characteristics such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchette errors. If a 1989 penny without a mint mark shows any of these features, it could be worth far more than its face value. Third, rarity plays a major role. While millions of 1989 pennies were produced, only a tiny fraction meet the criteria of being in perfect condition or having a rare error. This limited supply is what drives up demand and value. Let's talk about the design itself. The obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head, you will see the word Liberty, and on the right side, the year 1989. The phrase "In God We Trust" appears along the top edge. The absence of a mint mark, just below the date, is what distinguishes this coin in our discussion. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly in the center. If you look very closely, you can even see a tiny depiction of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. This level of detail is one of the reasons why Lincoln pennies are so beloved by collectors. Now, you might be wondering how to determine if your coin is valuable. Start by examining it under good lighting. Look for any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. A shiny, well-preserved coin is a good sign. Next, check for any unusual features such as doubling in the letters or numbers, or a misaligned design. If you believe you have a rare or high-quality coin, the next step is to have it professionally graded. Coin grading services can authenticate your coin and assign it a grade, which can greatly influence its market value. A certified coin is also more attractive to serious buyers. Another important factor to consider is market demand. Coin values can fluctuate based on collector interest, economic conditions, and trends within the hobby. While a listing might suggest a high price, the actual selling price depends on what buyers are willing to pay. It is also worth mentioning that online marketplaces and auctions have made it easier than ever to buy and sell coins. However, this also means that prices can vary widely. Some sellers may list coins at extremely high prices, but that does not always reflect their true market value. Research and verification are key. So, is it really possible for a 1989 no mint mark penny to be worth $1.2 million? In reality, such a price would require an extraordinary combination of factors, including a flawless condition, a rare minting error, and strong demand from collectors. While most of these coins will not reach such heights, the possibility adds an element of excitement to the search. Today's topic is something that has been creating massive buzz online: the 2021 Liberty 1 cent with no mint mark. Some people are claiming this coin could be worth up to $1.2 million. But is that actually true, or is it just another internet myth? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what this coin is, how much it's really worth, and what to look for if you think you have a valuable one. Let's start with the basics. The 2021 1 cent coin, also known as the Lincoln penny, features Abraham Lincoln on the front. This design has been a part of American coinage for decades, making it one of the most recognizable coins in the world. On the back, you'll see the Union Shield design, which represents unity and strength. This design has been used since 2010 and continues to appear on modern pennies. Now here's where things get interesting. Many people notice that their 2021 penny has no mint mark and immediately assume it's rare or valuable. But in reality, coins without a mint mark are usually produced at the Philadelphia Mint. That means a 2021 penny with no mint mark is actually very common. Yes, you heard that right. Millions and millions of these coins were produced, which means most of them are only worth their face value, just 1 cent. So why are people claiming these coins are worth thousands or even millions? The answer lies in misunderstanding and, sometimes, exaggeration. But don't click away yet, because there's a twist. While a normal 2021 no-mint mark penny is common, there are certain rare conditions that can make a coin extremely valuable. Let's talk about what actually gives a coin high value. First, condition matters a lot. If your coin is in perfect, uncirculated condition, meaning it has no scratches, no wear, and looks like it just came from the mint, it could be worth more than face value. Collectors love coins in pristine condition. Second, errors. This is where things get exciting. If your 2021 penny has a minting error, its value can increase dramatically. Some examples of valuable errors include double die errors, off-center strikes, and wrong planchet errors. A double die error happens when the design is stamped twice slightly off alignment, creating a blurry or doubled appearance. These coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how strong the error is. An off-center strike means the coin design is not properly aligned, leaving part of the coin blank. These are highly collectible. A wrong planchet error occurs when a coin is struck on the wrong metal, which is extremely rare and can be worth a lot of money. Now imagine this. If a 2021 penny had a major, unique error that was never seen before, and it was in perfect condition, then yes, it could potentially reach a very high value at auction. But that is incredibly rare. That's why most claims about a standard 2021 no-mint mark penny being worth $1.2 million are not accurate. However, there is still opportunity here. Coin collecting is not just about finding one coin worth millions. It's about understanding value, rarity, and history. Let me give you a practical tip. Take a close look at your 2021 pennies using a magnifying glass. Check for unusual details, doubling in letters, misalignment, or anything that looks different from a normal coin. Even small differences can sometimes make a big impact. Also, pay attention to the coin's shine and condition. A bright, uncirculated coin is always more desirable than a worn-out one. Another important factor is grading. Professional coin grading services can evaluate your coin and assign it a grade based on its condition. A higher grade means higher value. If you believe you have something special, getting it professionally graded could be a smart move. Now let's talk about real market value. A regular 2021 penny with no mint mark is typically worth 1 cent. In uncirculated condition, it might sell for a few cents to a few dollars. Coins with minor errors might reach $10, $20, or even $50 depending on the type of error. Stronger and more noticeable errors can go into the hundreds. And only the rarest, most unique coins ever reach into the thousands or beyond. So where did the $1.2 million claim come from? In most cases, these numbers are either misunderstandings or clickbait designed to attract attention. But here's the good news. Even if your coin isn't worth millions, the journey of discovering rare coins can still be incredibly rewarding. People around the world have found valuable coins in their everyday change. It just takes knowledge, patience, and a bit of luck.